The driver to build our automation center is really to bring our customers in, allow them to see the pieces of equipment or the systems in action so that they can connect the dots from what we have in terms of full end-of-line automation to their specific application, bringing those two together and giving them a chance to talk to the experts on our floor.
The Automation Center allows the customers to see simple automation, a step up in automation, and then full automation. It allows them to test their products. We allow them to come in, bring boxes, they can test everything that they need to see, go back to their plant and figure out the return on investment for them.
It was really exciting to see all the people that attended our Automation Center open house generate new ideas for their facility. They came in with a certain concept in their head or a way they wanted to do things and walked out with brand new ideas on ways to improve efficiency and productivity in their facility.
If you're looking for automation, any type of automation, simple automation, full line automation, we would love to invite you to come check out and see our Automation Center.
Well, good morning, everybody. Want to thank everybody for joining our webinar today. Good morning or good afternoon, I guess, depending on which time zone you're in. My name is Sam Singer. I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at Rapid Packaging. I'm really excited today to bring you our second webinar in a three-part series. Our goal here is to help people, our customers and our potential customers pivot out of the old world into the new world in terms of pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. You saw our video. It was really fun to go through and build the original videos, and it was kind of interesting to go through and shoot the second one and compare the two. So we're excited for everybody who's had an opportunity to join today, and we want to thank you. Today we are going to spend some time going through something that may have been somewhat, I would say, not top of mind pre-pandemic, which is PPE, protective gear. And what now is very much top of mind. I think that the big question that a lot of our customers have brought to us is, now that we have to really pay attention to PPE, they don't know a lot about it. We don't know a lot about it in terms of our customer base. But as a company, as a Rapid Packaging, and really in context with our supplier, Global Glove, we've learned a ton, and we've decided to bring the experts to the market today. So today, we're going to walk through some of the trends in safety equipment, what's going on out there. We're going to figure out, how we can walk you through taking a look at your recordables, your injury recordables, and how to manage through lowering safety incidents. And then really to get a little bit more in depth in terms of your hand, eye, head, and face protection. We'll have some opportunity for Q&A. There is a chat function within the Teams event, so if you could put your questions there. We'll take some breaks throughout the presentation to answer questions as we go through each category, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A as well. So with that, I want to tee up Mr. Matt Reese, who's a gentleman who's been supporting us now for quite a few years. We really appreciate all of his expertise and his willingness to come on and support you as well today. So Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. And everybody on that's joined us today, thank you so much. I know we're busy trying to get through a lot of things, and taking a little bit of time out of your day to join me is a grateful. I'm grateful for that. So, Global Glove, Ramsey, Minnesota-based company. Maybe some of you didn't know that. Yeah, we're local in Minnesota. About a 15-year company, 2,000 square feet of warehouse space, 1,800 SKUs, and we've been in business about 15 years. And we've really seen a growth in our business, and because of the PPE, because most of you out there are ahead of the game, right? You're looking for better alternatives for your employees, make sure they go home safe at night, and we're trying to stay up with those changes and make sure we're coming out with innovative ideas so that we can make sure that, because the number one problem we have in the safety industry is if it's not comfortable, if it doesn't fit right, if it doesn't wear right, they're not going to wear it. They're going to and they're not going to do it on purpose. It's going to be something they do just to make sure they're comfortable, and that's normal. So we've done a lot of changes in the last 3 years. I've been doing this for 5 years, so but I've been in the safety industry for 23 years. So it's something that I'm passionate about, because again, number one goal is we want to get people home from work. 3 areas of focus in the PPE industry is hand injuries, eye injuries, and ergonomics. Those are the 3 big avenues right now, and mostly what I will cover today will be hand injuries and eye injuries. Recordables. Now think about this, and I like to keep it simple, but we like to say 5 stitches is worth $5,000. Think about that. That's just the cost of those 5 stitches. That doesn't include what the overall cost will be for workers' comp in a year. We guesstimate that around $50,000. So just a 5 stitches can cause so much, not only pain for the worker, but then more cost to you, the company. So what's worth it? $50,000 and making sure you have the best possible eyewear, best possible glove, so that they can be protected and they're wearing their stuff all the time. So any manufacturing facility out there is mandated to make sure they have, must provide eyewear, hand protection, and hearing protection. By the way, all 3 things that we have in our offering. So what I'm going to try to do is go over some of those right now. Eyewear, I'm going to start out with eyewear because it's something that I think is taken for granted. And the biggest issue we have with eyewear, and going back to style and comfort, is workers not wearing them, right? So if it doesn't fit, this is what I see when I walk into a facility. I see this a lot because it doesn't fit, causes a headache. So this is probably the number one issue. They just don't have it on their eyes, and you know, hands can stitch up and hands can be fixed and a lot of things with the body. But man, when you hurt your eye, that's a long road back. So every manufacturing facility must provide 3 styles, right? A visitor, inexpensive, and then a upper end one is kind of how it goes. And again, that's subjective. That ain't written in stone on what those are, but simple. It's kind of how they should supply the eyewear to the people coming into their facility. And we do the same thing. And you can see on my right hip back here is we have a full range of eyewear, from anti-fog to performance to comfort to readers. We do readers on this, so they don't have to wear over the glass when they have their glasses on. But we specialize in the cheapo that on my head right here. This is the one you see all the time. And then we have an ups, and then we keep going up in styles. And this is another one, a good price model, fits well. Sorry about this. And then, you know, it's also about style. This right here, this eyewear is a perfect example. Looks like a popular model out there that the young population likes to wear, but it's not. But it's a safety glass. It fits well, and doggone it, people look good, right? Now the world of COVID, it's caused a wrench in our plan with masks, right, and eyewear. So I'm going to take this off and show you a demo that this model probably became our fastest moving item. I hope you can see this, but this is basically an eyewear that's not fogging up. So people are wearing masks because when in the COVID time, when the masks were being worn, I hope you could see that, but when the masks are being worn, The glasses were fogging up. And so what was the first reaction is they take the glass eyewear, put it on top of their head, and they weren't protecting their eyes. So, and that's another style that comes with our eyewear. We have anti-fog, and then we have our performance fog technology. A good model to go by. So that's the eyewear. Next is head protection. And over to my right back here, you'll see the lime and the white helmet. And those are your standard hard hats in the industry that has been in place since the Hoover Dam construction, right? Helmets were brought into place back then, and they really haven't changed, right? They've been the same model for the last 50 to 60 years. So what's happened in the last couple years is the climbing helmet up here to my left. That is basically a helmet with a chin strap. And what we've told people is most of the injuries that cause from with hard hats is not coming from falling objects anymore. Quite frankly, it's coming from falling down. Slips and falls are the number one. We'd say 90% of the injuries to head injuries are that. So what's been popular is the climbing helmet, and that comes with a chin strap. So basically, if you're out there and you slip and fall, the chin strap keeps your helmet on so you don't bang your head. And then, we've lost a lot of workers with the people out with the helmet a hard hat falling off, they're bumping their heads, and then they're getting knocked out. So the world of head protection is changing by the minute. Comfort is a big deal, and this new safety helmet is something that is less than 6 months old. So excited about that as well. And then finally, hearing. Hearing protection is a big deal, and you must supply it to your workforce. So we have the same thing in hearing protection, everything from the corded foam to the eyewear, the protection that fits in the ear and sits around your neck, to your muffs that go on the hard hat. So, or can fit over your head. So hearing's another big deal that you have to protect, and we at Global Glove have a full line of that as well. So that is a quick rundown of eyewear and head protection and hearing. And before I get on the gloves, I want to stop for a second and ask if there's any questions out there.
Hey, Matt, yeah, we actually have a couple of questions. One specifically about eyewear and one about earwear. So on the eyewear, the question is, what do the different colored lenses do?
Basically, it's all on protection, right? So amber is for night, a little bit closer to nighttime, right? Smoke is for going outside, indoor, outdoors, going in and out. And a lot of workplaces, they will not allow you to wear a smoke glass, right? They won't allow you to wear this because they don't think you can see. So we do it indoor and outdoor. So sometimes it's just to enhance the view of the situation you're in, whether it be dusk, nighttime, and stuff like that.
Perfect, thank you. On the earwear, is there a reason why we would pick one type of earwear over another? Is there decibel levels, or does it really come down to comfort and fit?
On the muffs, yes, right. That comes down to a style or a class, right? So if depending on the class you're going into or the situation you're going into, that would have an impact on it. But the foams, the corded, the wearing around your putting this on there and wearing around your neck is just style, what you prefer, right? Do you prefer to have corded so you have this around your neck and hanging there and then put it in your ears? There's rules to decrease the decibels sound in your ears. We meet those standards, and just comes down to preference on what you prefer.
Awesome, thank you. One last question. So what are the biggest changes you've seen with PPE over the last year, and what do you see in the foreseeable future?
The biggest thing with PPE is I can't believe where we have gone. So gloves, we'll get to that. But gloves, for example, a cut 7 glove, and again, I'll get to this, and I apologize, but it used to be like a catcher's mitt, right? No dexterity. What we're able to do with gloves to make them comfortable, to make them stylish, to make them absolutely critical to the process of the work is something that just in the last 3 years, I still can't believe how far we've come on stuff like that. Eyewear, something like this again is a stylish glass that is. Think about how eyewear used to be. Eyewear used to be a fog over the glass foam thing, and it wasn't comfortable. So we are doing things to make sure that the worker. And all of us, right? All of us suppliers are doing this. We're making sure we're coming out product that the worker will wear, keep it on them so that they go home safety. And I don't see that slowing down. If you're looking at your screen right now, and I don't know whether they can see those big leather gloves, but that's how it used to be, right? Now we're putting nice comfortable second skin gloves on them so they can be more efficient, more productive at work. So that, and I don't see that slowing down, right? Helmets being more comfortable, eyewear being more comfortable, fog technology that you don't, it's not a treatment, it stays on there so you don't have to whip it off. Stuff like that. That's how I see our biggest changes, and it's not going to slow down.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the more comfortable the gear is, the more often you'll, I'm assuming, see the employee want to wear it, and the more stylish, of course, they're going to want to wear it. So those changes are making a huge difference, I'm sure. So thanks, Matt. No more questions. If you want to keep rolling, we appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. So the next area is where my kind of this is where I get passionate. So stay with me, be patient. It's something that I think is part of the most critical thing we stand into now and that is gloves. Going back to what Sam asked earlier, hand protection and gloves have just the last 3 years. It's been amazing what we've been able to do, and all of us suppliers. So it's good. Now the key with us, between us and our competition, is we make all of our gloves. We specialize in coated gloves, right? These, I'm sure you've all seen these. I'm sure you got them in your facility right now. This is our specialty. We make these in our own facility. So what does that mean to you? Well, number one is we can control the size. We can control what we come out with a glove, and we come up with how we want to make it. And we know exactly what's going into that. And the sizing, right? We are not metric, meaning our gloves are going to run, we think, to the size of your hands. Where the competition, a lot of our competition is using the metric, right? We're not. We're using standard sizing for us. So I wear a medium, but a lot of us workers out there like to wear a large or extra large, right? Bigger hands. Well, no, I wear a medium. I wear a size 8, and that is a comfortable fitting glove. And again, that's the key is, and remember, on our sizing, it is the circumference around the palm of the hand that gets you the size of the glove. We really can't do anything with the fingers, none of us. But we think if you do the circumference of the hand, the glove will fit perfectly, right? And we want that because we want the worker to remember their gloves are on. So that's what making our own facilities and making sure we're getting the standards that are critical for you. Gauge, right? The gauge of a glove is critical. So, and that basically runs from anywhere from 7 gauge up to 19. And it's kind of a lot like steel if you're doing any steel plants, right? The higher the gauge of the glove, the thinner the material, the tighter wound of the fabric that's in that glove. What does that mean usually? Well, it means a cost increase, right? If you're 7 gauge, you're not as tightly wound and probably a little bit loose fitting, and I'll show you one of those. And then if you're an 18 gauge, that is something that feels like a second skin. Again, options that you can have for all, whether what your job requires and what it needs to be done. So, and then cut protection. The cut protection, as we know it, has changed in the last 3 years as well. Instead, because most of the competition out there, there's 2 standards. There was the European standard, and then there was the OSHA ANSI standard, right? Well, now there is no such thing in the United States. There is one standard, and it's called the ANSI standard. And we all of us suppliers have to adhere to those standards. And that basically is cut A1 through A9. A1 is nothing. A1 is a glove that offers little protection, right? Whereas cut A9 offers significant protection, and the higher the number, the greater protection. What I will say this on as well is there is no standard on what you need to have for cut protection. That is something that you will come up in your facility, and I will make recommendations on given those standards. But that is something that you're going to, because there's no standard for what cut protection is in the United States. So cut protection has to be, and it has to all be rated A. A2, A1, A3, you can see that. That's how it has to be. Any glove with cut protection has to have that. Now, we also put the European standard out there, but about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe 2.5, ANSI came out and said, here's your standards, and all of us are adhering those, which means is another supplier would come out and say, hey, I got a cut A4 glove, when in truth, it was a cut 3 glove. And that caused a lot of grief for me because I had to go to some of these customers and tell them, no, here's your true cut protection. So we want to be upfront about that. So that's kind of how that's come along and changed in the last 3 years. So all the shells stay the same. The shells that we put on gloves basically are all the same. It's the polymers that go on the outside of the glove. And there's 3 basic polymers. There's latex, there's nitro, and there's polyurethane. Basically, I'm going to keep it really simple, but your latex glove is something that looks like this. You see this a lot. That's a water. we like to put this with water because water deflects off of it. It's good for water grip. The other one is Nitro or PUG, polyurethane. PUG is your dry application, right? So that's where you're not touching. You're dealing with electricians, your auto companies where they dry and they got to have no particulate. And then Nitro, your mock finish, that is your oils and greases. So if you ever come to one of your rapid packaging sales reps or myself and ask us, recommendation, and you're using a PUG glove on a steel, well, although you're getting the protection, you're not getting the efficiency, right? You're not getting the glove that's going to help you with the grip, that's going to help you with making sure you're not slipping off or dropping things or causing more issues. So I know it's simplistic, but I like to go by that. Latex for water, polyurethane for dry, and Nitro for oils. The shells stay the same. The shells that we put these on, they're all the same. Whether what gauge they are, what they're made of, they all stay the same. We just change the coating, and that's kind of basically how we do it. And then once you have the polymers, right, then you go to what's the application. And we basically go to two applications: is general protection and cut resistant, right? General protection is your no cut, maybe a cut A1, but it comes down to the gauge of the shell, and then the coating on the outside, whether it's a nitro polyurethane or latex. Something like this. This is a prime example of a general purpose latex glove, no cut protection, gauge 7. This is a gauge 7 shell. I can't pick up pins. You can see it there, but now we go to a 15 gauge. We go to a 15 gauge glove where the dexterity gives me everything I need and allows me to pick up pennies, allows me to pick up pins, allows me to pick up fasteners. This is good, and it's a general purpose, no protection. And then all the way up to 18 gauge. An 18 gauge glove is like a second skin, and this is my favorite glove because it allows you to have your hand protected and allows you to pick up anything and have extreme dexterity. Because remember, one of the big issues we have is that the worker's not wearing the product because it doesn't feel right, it doesn't let you do your job. We want to give you a glove that allows you to your worker to be way productive on their job, and this way, if they're way productive and it feels good, it's something they're going to wear. So that's general protection. I will tell you, this is a glove. This is the 550 XFT. An example of this glove is this is a good price point glove, but where this is no cut protection. But what we tell people is one of the biggest issues in the industry is hand fatigue. Wearing a jersey glove or wearing a cotton string glove, those gloves were good and they were a price point glove, but they didn't offer consistency, right? They're animal skin, so they didn't offer consistency. Well, now we can offer consistency, but we tell people wearing gloves on a workforce, even though it's not cut protected, I will not do this justice, but I go to grab a catalog and it slips. Now I can make this seem it, but you gotta trust me, right? But there is no slipping. This offers you grip, and it offers you grip throughout the jobs you're doing. So that's when we see general manufacturing or general purpose gloves with no cut protection, there's a purpose. There's a thing that will help you because again, we protect from fatigue protection. You're not getting tired out there in your hands, carpal tunnel, stuff like that. Just overall, a good way of protecting you out in the field. Now, the fastest growing area in the last 3 years is cut protection, right? That's the big, word of the day is cut protection. And again, I'll go back. We're not going to recommend what cut protection you need to use, but we will absolutely, if you've decided on what cut protection you want to go with, and again, obviously, the higher the better, we'll make some recommendations. But cut protection has changed unbelievably so. And when I want to step back and tell you, so one of the two polymers was latex and it was nitro and it was polyurethane. Well, the difference between the three is and why I said when we talked earlier about polyurethane being good for electricians and dry and auto facilities, is the main reason is they can't have particulate in the room. So you don't want particulate, and what happens is polyurethane. I'm going to do this glove better. Polyurethane goes through the glove, and you can see it right here. It soaks through the glove, and what that means is it's not sitting on top of the shell. It's soaked through, so you're not going to have the abrasion problem. You're not going to have the particulate. So that's why we say in the dry area, you're going to see more and more people going with polyurethane or the clean room environment because they can't have the particulate. Whereas in nitro, Nitro just sits on top, right? So when I show you the backside of this Nitro, you can't, there's nothing, it just sits on top of there. So this will flake, this will cause more issues. It's good for steel, it's good for items like that, but it sits on top of the glove. Which is another good point. Cut protection, and this is something I ran into last week, and it's still a big issue for me. Cut protection has nothing to do with the grip, the coating, the polyurethane, the latex, nitro, zero, zip, nothing. All that is doing is offering you grip. Have true cut protection, it has to encompass the whole hand, right? There's some companies out there that did cut protection on the palm, and they had convinced some people that this was the truth. And it took me over an hour to look up all the facts that needed to be to show you that no, in ANSI for cut protection has to be it has to encompass the whole hand. So make sure you're, and we all put the cut level on the gloves. So, but that's kind of where the biggest change is. And this is cut protection 2 glove, polyurethane, Pug 118. This is a great glove. It feels like a second skin. Again, I go back to, this is a size 9, and I'm an 8. I need to wear an 8. I should have a sample here, but if I had an 8 on here, the dexterity, even the dexterity is good with this, but this is a great hand. It feels like a second skin. And what you're seeing a lot more of now is high-vis gloves, right? So high-vis gloves are two focus for us. One, safety coordinator walks out into the plant, looks around and see all the hands, right? And they see that the high-vis glove is on. Okay, my people are wearing them. They're protected. And one other key factor that we've seen in the last couple of years is the worker itself. Workers working on a press, they look down, that high vis is something they always catches. But next thing you know, they don't have a glove on and they get their hand near it. And hopefully it's a last minute, wait a minute, I don't have that high vis on me. So we're seeing more and more and more gloves doing high vis protection. So, but that's a great glove. Now, these are made of a steel fiber, which is great. I mean, that's what basically cut protection is you're taking steel fibers and you're stringing them together, and you're doing it so that they're real tight, right? And that deflects the blade off there, and that gives you your cut protection, right? Only works with blade. It doesn't work with serrated blades. That is not true, and it doesn't work on puncture. Cut protection is only on cut. But with another problem with OS and the steel is a lot of people have allergies. So what we've done is, and a lot of us in the industry, is we've come out with a glove, and this is a glove made of tuffaline. And basically what this glove does is it is a fiberglass. It's not a steel. Same cut protection, right? Going to give you the same comfort, same feel, great feel. This is only a gauge 15, but still a great glove, great feel. But it's not going to have this feel in there. So if you have people working with steel allergies, that's not going to be an issue with this glove. So, and that's, and you know, what are we all doing, right? In our world right now, we're using phones, right? Well, cut protection glove, polyurethane glove, 18 gauge glove, check, check, check on everything I want, plus gloves. It's touchscreen. And what we do is, unlike the competition, we don't do it with copper. We do it through with strands in the whole glove. So a touchscreen glove with polyurethane grip and cut 5 protection. Just a great glove. And that's kind of going back to a question from you guys earlier. That's how we've seen this change. And we've done the same thing. Remember, we said the glove, the shell doesn't change. So now we come out with a nitro coated glove, 18 gauge. Working with steel, this would be a perfect glove because this is going to give me the wet. The oil, it's perfect for oil because the oil is going to soak into it. The oil is going to be into the glove, and it's going to allow for grip on steel. And then we do the same thing with on the shells, right? We have the same glove with fiberglass, so you don't have to worry about steel getting any kind of allergies to the steel on it. So, and then, you know, going back to what we brought up earlier is another glove. And again, this is how our industry changes. Those are cut 2 style gloves, great glove. Well, this right here is a cut 3 glove, 588 CR 588 MY MFY. It's a cut A3 glove. It doesn't have the gauge protection, but it's a great glove. Good price point, right? It allows you to get the cut protection at a good price point. Is it as perfect as it is other ones? No, but it's a good glove. So, and that's the goal of what I'm trying to get across today is we can come up with solutions, whether it's budget, whether it's protection, whether it's comfort, whether it's safety. All these things we can make recommendations, and we want to work with you, and I'm willing to travel. Get me out there. Let me get in there. I've been vaccinated. I'll wear a mask. I'll wear eyewear. I'll do whatever it takes to get in there and help you make sure your workers go home safe at night. So that's the gloves. Oh, specialty gloves. So we've been doing gloves forever for the Nitro, the general manufacturer, but we also do specialty gloves. We do a glove that's heat protected up to 250, and we do a glove that's heat protected up to 500 degrees. If I had a lighter or smoked, I'd take a light and put it under there, but I don't, so you have to take my word. But it's heat protected, offers grip, so allows you to grab, dimple grips, allows you to grab products and keep your hands safe. And then we offer a glove like this. Again, the shell's the same, cut A4 protection with kind of like a different polymer, right? A nitro polymer that works, that is great for glass. If you have any glass people out there, this will not leave a mark on anything. So no fingerprints or anything like that. So kind of like your old football receiving gloves, it lets you catch anything. So we have specialty gloves and we have cut protect gloves, and it's been a change. And again, this is a cut A7 glove, brand new glove about 6 months ago, and this is the prime example of how this world has changed. It's a cut A7, has unbelievable dexterity, 18 gauge glove, multiple protection in the crotch. And this is simply the kind of changes that we're making it to make sure that the worker is safe and comfortable. So that's one more thing, couple things that I like to go over. We are a full PPE manufacturer. We do vests, right? We do a lot of different things. We do cut sleeves, we do leathers, and we do disposables. What I will tell you is we're like everybody else. Leathers are made by different people, and so are disposables. So we get them, right? We buy them, and we're competitive, and they offer a value. You know, leather offers heat protection. That's why people wear leather, and people always wear leather. My goal would take something that's not easy to keep consistent in a leather glove and move it to something that is heat protected, cut protected, and allows you to we can consistently make this the same every time. This we can't. We're dealing with a cow skin or goat skin on this. This one, we're making it, it's consistent. It's going to give you the same protection value. That's my goal. But we still have leathers because people want them, and we still have disposables because, you know, in the COVID, if there's one glove that was number one in the industry was COVID. And that, believe it or not, I was just telling someone earlier, is getting better. The disposable glove market as we know it is getting better for everybody. So I think that, Sam, I think that is it. A couple minutes early, so maybe we can get some people back to their doing what they're doing. But I appreciate your time today. I can't express enough the gratitude for allowing me to go over something that I feel is very passionate, and anything I can do to come in your facility and do a site audit and help you get the right glove for the right application, please let me know.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you so much.
Sam, real quick, I have a question.
Oh, yeah, what's the strongest glove that you can recommend for any kind of cut level protection?
Well, great question. Question from the group here is, what is the strongest glove you would recommend for any application? And what I want to be careful about in this is because OSHA does not have a standard, I'm not going to come in and say, here's the cut level protection you should wear. Up to A9 is what you can go up to, but this is something that as depending on the application, you will have to come up with there because there is no standard on it. But so we try to stay away from that because that may not be applicable to all areas in the facility. But thank you so much for the question, Sam. Sorry.
Great, thanks, Matt. So the question, well, there was a question on here about availability. Of course, I wasn't not surprised availability came up as a question on some of the disposable gloves, but part of the question was substituting. Is there any substitutes that you would recommend for some of those disposable gloves?
Absolutely. Great question. First of all, lead time. It's getting better. Disposables are getting better. Now the issue is, as a lot of people in here, if you're shipping anything, it's logistics, right? Containers and getting things. We get things from overseas. So just like everybody else. So that's an issue. But disposable gloves is a great idea. But there's two options you can go on disposables. You can go your basic chemical glove, unsupported, because you can rewash these, reuse them, and they work just the same. Food FDA approved as the disposables. Not as good as dexterity, but gets you through in a pinch. Also, depending on the application, a simple glove like this will do, whether it's what they are doing. We offer general manufacturing gloves with a little bit of FDA approval. So there's always options for getting you with something that will work and depending on the application, to be honest, disposables a lot of the time is not FDA required. What they're doing does not clean room require what they're doing. It's just something they've always used because it's an inexpensive. Believe it or not, we can come up with another model that's not going to be as inexpensive, but that's going to work and it's not going to kill your budget, and it'll make sure your hands are protected.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. I think that's all of the questions that I've got on the live. I really want to say thank you for everything that you've done today to support us. I will say to the group out there that are listening in, one thing that I've learned from Matt is that if you have an opportunity to get he or some of his partners into the building to take a look at the application and make some suggestions or substitution if you can't get product, it's just a great use of time. I know, again, as I said at the beginning, this is PPE, something that we probably didn't think about a lot other than did we have inventory. And I believe now we're at a point where with COVID and the pandemic, and we're hypersensitive to what's going on in the market, really paying attention to this, but doing it with a higher level of expertise and bringing in somebody like Matt to be able to come into your building and take a look at what you're doing and give you some suggestions. So if you have the opportunity to reach out, please do. On the screen, I've put up our information. We can relay to Matt. But again, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time. To everybody who took the time to listen in over their I guess it would be an early lunch hour. We appreciate you. And with that, have a fantastic day and a fantastic week. All the best.
Everybody.